Today's video is sponsored by this image. Coco is one of the biggest messes I've ever had the pleasure of watching.
You know, over the years I've tried to make more of an effort to not approach movies from such a negative angle.
Coco is so unbelievably bad, I cannot fathom it.
Watching this was probably one of the worst experiences I've had watching a film.
Miguel is
An egotistical dickhead to everyone in town.
His great-great-grandmother has a strict rule against music, as her husband walked out on her and their daughter, Coco, to pursue a career in it. This is an issue for Miguel, as he loves music, and secretly wishes to be the famous guitarist Ernesto, whom Miguel believes to be his great-great-grandfather. So one night he sneaks out to take his guitar, which ends up sending him to the land of the dead, where the deceased are all ascending to the living world for one night only, the Day of the Dead. So now Miguel needs to find his way home, without agreeing to give up his interest in music.
I hated that they presented
The land of the dead
as this perfect, clean, stylized place, when in reality it's a shithole.
This movie looks terrible. Some of the sets are... like, what the fuck is this?
The Skellingtons
Looks so wrinkly and gross.
Ugly Sonic.
He looked better than this.
Why does Coco need to be an hour?
45
goddamn minutes long. The pacing here is so slow.
The editing sucks. I felt like I was watching the movie at 5 times speed at times with how fast things were.
They unironically do that thing where the villain is announcing their plans and the characters turn on a camera and microphone so the audience can hear them.
If you parody a piece of shit by being a piece of shit, then guess what? You're a piece of shit.
In general, though, I wasn't a big fan of the villain,
I don't know how I'm expected to find his selfish antics funny when I don't like him here at all.
but that ending, that fucking ending, it's such basic manipulative garbage. I see people calling this emotional, and it's not even on par with like C-list sad Family Guy moments. I think I have a higher chance at crying watching
A Minecraft movie.
than Coco.
Overall,
Coco.
he is offensively bad.
This movie is a perfect example of something being made purely for the sake of money with no passion put behind it.
Mexican
Will love this movie.
But it's...
a white Irish boy.
I really can't recommend this movie to anyone. 1 out of 10.
I look forward to not watching the sequel. Fuck you.
Pixar.